You know how to do exponential equation of this kind. We are given 9 to the power of x minus 3 to the power of x is equal to 2. And the question says that we should find the value of x. If you observe here, I have 9 to the power of x. 9 can be expressed to be in the base of 3. So to do that, you have 9. You have to divide 9 by 3 to get 3. Divide 3 by 3 to get 1. That means 9 is 3 squared because you have these two 3's. So here, we'll replace 9 to be 3 squared. Then we have already existing power, which is 3, which is x. Then x minus this 3 to the power of x is equal to 2. Okay, here in one of the laws of exponent, from the laws of exponent, when you have a power to power, you can simply multiply the two powers. Now you can now have 2 times x is 2x, then minus 3 to the power of x is equal to 2. Then the next stage is that whenever you have this, you can know the law of commutativity. For instance, if you have a to the power of bc, it is the same thing as a to the power of cb. You can switch the powers. So here I can use it here. So I can write 3 to the power of x into 2, then minus 3 to the power of x is equal to 2. Now, since you have this, observe that we have 3 to the power of x here, and we have 3 to the power of x here. So we can now assign a variable of our choice to be 3 to the power of x. So I can use y. I can say, let y be 3 to the power of x. When I have this now, you can now see that if y is 3 to the power of x, that means y squared, replacing 3 to the power of x, minus, this is 3 to the power of x, so you have minus y is equal to 2. Observe that this is now a typical example of a quadratic equation. So you are going to solve the quadratic equation. So to solve this type of quadratic equation is factorable. So I can use factorization method. So first thing is to minus these two to both sides so that this equality sign will be 0. So when I minus, I have y squared minus y, then minus 2 is equal to 0. So to factorize quadratic equation, the simplest way is to create two brackets. Create two brackets and this equals to 0. The variable here is y. You have y and y. So here, the last term is minus 2. What are the two numbers that multiplies to get minus 2, but adds to get the coefficient here, which is minus 1? When you multiply minus 2 to 1, you get minus 2. And when you add 1 to minus 2, you get minus 1. So we use minus 2 and plus 1. In quadratics, these two terms are multiplying themselves to get 0. This implies that one of the brackets is 0 or both of them are 0. Meaning that y minus 2 is equals to 0 or y plus 1 is equals to 0. So here, when y minus 2 is 0, this implies that y is equal to 2 because minus 2 crosses the equality sign, it becomes positive. Or you have y is equal to minus 1. When plus 1 crosses the equality sign, it becomes a negative. But we are not going to use this negative value. The reason is that we have defined our y to be a function that y is the same thing as 3 to the power of x. And logarithm doesn't allow a negative number. So here, you can now see that we have our y to be 3 to the power of x. We've known that y is 2. So you can now see that 2 is equal to 3 to the power of x. In this, you can now see that to solve this, we take the natural log of both sides. So we have ln 2 is equal to ln 3 to the power of x. So in logarithm, once you have this power, the power is free to multiply the logarithm. So you have it to be ln 2 is equal to x ln 3. So you can simply divide through by ln 3, divide by ln 3, so that ln 3 will cross out ln 3. You see that x is now equal to ln 2 over ln 3. And that's the answer. You can use your calculator to get the exact number. Bye-bye.